Vlad successfully sued his employer for 1.6 million, although he was on 180k, which did factor into it, but let's get into it. Now, whilst he did win for unfair dismissal, he did lose on automatic unfair dismissal. Now, this was a bit of a tricky case because there were 3 respondents. There was the main company and then 2 other shareholders. And the tribunal said that they were surprised during the course of this case at the apparent lack of documentation concerning any decisions. And they were also concerned about the reliability of the evidence from the witnesses. They said the structure of top management of the company was opaque. And the second respondent was basically the person that Vlad reported into, but he was also the main shareholder. And the third respondent was the statutory director of the company. So in March 2020, Vlad was asked to take a 30% pay cut. They said it was for unprecedented challenges presented by COVID. And at Tribunal, they tried to argue that the second person's role was purely ceremonial, but the Employment Tribunal disagreed. In May, Vlad asked if he could be a non-exec director of another company, and he was told no. And as the 3-month trial for the 30% pay cut was coming to an end, he was asked to extend that pay cut. Vlad asked what the plan was because obviously he couldn't continue to have this pay cut. Vlad was also entitled to a bonus up to 100% of his salary, and he was then told that he probably wasn't going to be getting it. They said that they would only be paying it for something extra rather than simply rewarding good performance. Vlad was talking to another colleague and he was discussing how he felt bullied into taking the pay cut. And he was told words to the effect of, well, if you don't agree with the pay cut, you can leave. They thought that Vlad was being self-centred and uncooperative. There was then a phone call and there was a heated exchange. Vlad ended up summarising the email, and it was on this call that he was told that he was fired. The company's response was that he should have taken that as a legal decision, that they were going to decide whether to keep him or not, and it wasn't an emotional one. And they tried to argue that he didn't have the authority to dismiss him. The tribunal found that he was dismissed as part of that conversation. And whilst the company tried to argue that the person didn't have the authority, the Employment Tribunal disagreed. They said at the time of the dismissal he was acting CEO, and as they hadn't proved the reason for dismissal, it was therefore unfair, and that no procedures were followed whatsoever. They also found that Vlad had made the disclosures to other colleagues. These disclosures were about his pay and bonus and staff welfare and COVID pretense. And the fact that Vlad believed that his pay cut was a breach of legal obligation was fair. And the same applied to his bonus. The same applied for when he discussed the unilateral pay cuts. The tribunal said that they did believe that Vlad thought it was a matter of public interest that a company was making non-transparent and significant pay cuts under the pretext of COVID, and that this resulted in his dismissal. So his total award is 1.6 million. He asked for £27,000 for injury to feelings but only got 9. A 20% uplift because they didn't follow the ACAS code of practice. Most of this award is for unfair dismissal, which is £900,000. The payment was grossed up. This is the full breakdown if you're interested. And the second respondent also had to pay £3,000 in costs.